By now you've been playing Battlefield 4 for little over a week and you've noticed some strange things happening on each map. Why is this train moving? When did the weather turn so crappy? Where did all this water come from? The answer, my friends, is Levolution. Webster's dictionary defines Levolution as the word you've entered isn't in the dictionary. Click on a spelling suggestion below or try again using the search bar above. Fortunately, we here at GameSpot don't confine ourselves to so-called real words in actual languages, so we're here to clear things up by showing you what Levolution events take place on each map, teaching you the best ways to trigger them, and breaking down which ones are cool and which ones drool. Lancang Dam, you suck. Let's start off with one of the cool ones, Hainan Resort. This fancy hotel has some structural integrity problems that you can exploit to seriously change the landscape around the capture point. Use your favorite kit explosive to totally ignore these obvious-looking pillars and blow out the white ground floor lounge walls instead. Kaboom and karumble. If you're parked in the lounge, you're dead. If you're perched at the wrong spot on the roof, you're dead. If you're around the seaside of the roof balcony when the wings go down, however, you've got a sweet sniper perch where only counter-snipers and vehicles can mess with you. Levolution rating, a rootin' tootin' levolutin' good time. Next up, it's Dawnbreaker, the downtown map with a careless municipal cleanup crew that just left these tunnel entrances wide open on both ends of the map. The doors to the extensive underground layers on this map won't open unless both of these valves are turned. The gas pressure line builds up until boom, crash, explode! The road gets all jacked up and things catch on fire. Infantry can now travel the main line in a trench and take the side tunnels to get a bit closer to the fringe capture points without getting vehicularly homicided. Driving around gets a bit trickier, but the broken bridge is still basically a bridge and you can still get wherever you want to go. Levolution rating? More like yawn breaker. Heyo! Oh hey, Siege of Shanghai, long time no see. You're looking quite a bit nicer than you did in the beta, I must say. Have you reinforced the 4 bayside pillars of your main tower yet? I see, so it's still vulnerable to tank fire then. Gotcha. Well, at least Obliteration players are figuring out what a mobility asset the building can be when standing, because, I mean, when it goes down, it just turns into kind of a slog. Yeah, I know, right? The bollards don't exactly speed things up, and that little tank trap over by the subway? It's cute, yeah, but so isolated off in the corner. Not like all that dust and junk that starts floating around once the tower falls. I mean, that crap just gets everywhere. It's ugly. Well, no, you're not ugly. You just get ugly when... Oh, no, hey, come on. Where are you going, Siege? Come on, I was just... Oh, yeah, forget it. Levolution rating? Quite a looker, but turns into a pumpkin when the tower comes down. On to Operation Locker and that big circular central room where presumably the inmates of this prison exercised once the coats, hats, and mittens budget got cut. The tower in the center is called the Panopticon, a downright Cybertronian name that is fitting because this structure transforms from a watchtower with 2 gun emplacements into a pile of rubble and a USAS shotgun. Make the transformation happen by placing C4 around the column on the ground floor, and then watch the defensive stronghold become a swarming hive of anarchy. Get away from the craziness by blasting your own tunnel parallel to this crazy choke point tunnel, and then go lock yourself in a distant cell block so no one can hassle you. Levolution rating? Nobody knows the trouble of C+. It gets a C+. Next up, Lancang Dam. Guess what you can explode on this one? That's right, it's the dam. You can shoot it with a tank and it'll get more and more wrinkly until it just can't take it anymore. Then it'll crumble to the ground all over. Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! Lancang Dam so stupid! Levolution rating. Instead of wasting your time blowing up that dam, Google UHF Wheel of Fish so you can get that reference.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
Zavod 311 is a bit better, but not by much. Once you start the countdown on this laptop, you've got 3 minutes before that bomb goes off. Other players can stop the timer because no one around here has heard of password protection, but once the thing blows, you're dead. But only if you're, like, standing right next to it, or happen to get clobbered by the falling smokestack. The rubble clogs up this central corridor and breaks open a passage to the tunnel below. It doesn't change the dynamic much, but at least it happens close to the action, unlike that dumb old dam. Levolution rating, 3 out of 11. Now, Flood Zone, there's a map that knows how to Levolve. If the idea behind this whole Levolution gimmick is to create events that significantly impact the flow of combat, then Flood Zone does it best. Once you hammer this levee with a substantial barrage of vehicle fire, the water pours forth and drowns the land in a mighty deluge. Running from point to point becomes impossible unless you stick to the rooftops. Swimming makes you a sitting duck, but like the kind of duck that sucks at swimming. The newly spawned PWCs, ribs, and attack boats become vitally important in the new water world order. The whole friggin' combat dynamic just changes, man, and it's never gonna be the same. Levolution rating, live, not televised. Ratcheting back from total environmental takeover for a second, we find ourselves at Rogue Transmission. Aspiring Levolvaliers can take aim at the dongle hanging high above the radio dish. That bad boy will come crashing down to Earth just as soon as you snip the 10 support wires keeping it in place. C4 makes an adequate pair of safety scissors, but nothing cuts these ropes like shells from an MBT. Bonus points if you sever the last cable after scurrying up it to get a bird's eye view of the mayhem you cause. The falling clutter means the dish is no longer a good place for demolition derby, but it does give you more opportunities to wreak havoc on the capture point below from an elevated position. Levolution rating, 3 out of 5 bars of cell phone reception. Now it's time to take a ride on the Golmud Railway. Literally, you can hop on this train and shoot the crap out of dudes with this mounted 50 cal. On the plus side, you'll be capturing one of the conquest points, but on the minus side, you're painting a giant target on your face. The train will travel towards the base of whoever holds it, and the closer it is to your side, the easier it is to protect it with a steady stream of vehicles from your spawn point. If vehicles become a problem, as they so often do, scour the map for these little piles of explosives, or those trails of colorful wires, or this kind of briefcase computer. These are one-use IEDs that you can set off to blow a huge hole in the road and send a huge column of smoke up into the sky. They'll kill anything nearby too, but because they're all located on roads between locations, you'll have to have some pretty good timing to catch your enemies in the blast. Just don't wait around to hold the trigger too long, or else... Levolution rating, the little engine that could, but didn't really feel like it. And finally, another one of the stars in the level evening sky, Paracel Storm. As time passes on this map, a storm rolls in and makes the seas in this archipelago much more treacherous. Where once you could zip around carefree on a PWC, now you must negotiate heaving swells that can submerge you as easily as send you speeding towards your destination. The brisk naval combat is severely hindered by the big waves, making airborne and infantry combat all the more vital. Make things even more interesting by taking a boat or a chopper out to this wind turbine and blasting it apart to send this destroyer steaming towards shore. Once it beaches, a new sniper perch and an AA gun become available up on deck. Might want to bring a pair of galoshes though, it's gonna get wet. Levolution rating, F4 on the Vegeta scale of Levolved NATOs. So now that you've Levolved your consciousness to understand all these game-altering events, what do you think? Around the GameSpot office, we're big fans of the concept and really like the few levels that take Levolution to extremes. If anything, we want more. Bigger events, more drastic changes, crazier stuff. Let us know what you'd like to see in the comments below, and thanks for watching.